Hi, and welcome to the Girl Who Loves to Read's very first video post. Yay! It's going to be a book haul video, and I'm really keen to show you all the new books that I got for my shelves, because who doesn't love new books? And without further ado, I'm going to start showing them to you. The first one I've already done a review of, and it is Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep by Philip K. Dick. This is one of those books that is a classic, huge classic, both as a sci-fi but also just in general. It's very short, and I had high expectations for it because it's one of those books I've always just wanted to read, and it superseded my expectations, which is just very unusual. Read the review. I just wanted to show it to you as well because it was part of the books brought back. This is it. So, the second book I got was As I Lay Dying by William Faulkner. It's I've never read anything by Faulkner before, and this is supposed to be one of his most famous. I love usually the vintage series. I think they're so gorgeous. This is a creepy horse's eye, and I have no idea why. The book is apparently about a family, an extended family, coming together for the burial of an elderly lady from the family, I'm assuming grandmother or something. But why is there a creepy horse's eye on the cover? See, Faulkner is very known for his language, and it's really interesting because it's a short book, but you can also see inside that the writing is really big, so I'm assuming it's actually very, even more short, but I'm really keen to see how his language works, and also why on earth there's a big horse's eye on the cover. Following on to the odd things is Chuck Palahniuk's Fight Club. Most of you probably either will know this because of the film, that's quite old by now I suppose, with Brad Pitt and Edward Norton, which I personally really loved. Interesting to me right now is that those of you who've seen the film know that there's a huge twist at the end. I'm not going to tell you what it is in case you haven't seen it, but the book apparently also has a really big twist at the end. However, it's a different twist, which is really odd to me because I'm assuming that the storylines are more or less the same, or at least about the same thing, so I can't think what the twist could be other than what it was. So we'll see. The fourth book I got is this, The Virgin Suicide by Jeffrey Eugenides, and this is one of those books that I've read this already, that has touched me the most, that has been most, it's very symbolic, it's very atmospheric, and it's just one of those books that isn't about what it's about. It's not really that important. I can quickly tell you, well, it's about a family of 4 teenage sisters, the Lisbon sisters, and the book is told by the point of view of the boys in the neighbourhood, not individually but as a group, about how they see these girls, and they sort of take on this almost mythical role in these boys' lives because they're sort of cooped up in their houses and they have strange parents, and I don't think I'll be giving away too much if I tell you that there are some suicides in this book. But his language is just amazing. I've written a review already that either you already have seen or you will see shortly. I'm trying to, you never know. Brilliant book. You should read it, you should buy it, you should in any way. There's a film as well, which is, I must say, one of the better films from a book. I saw the film first. I usually never do that, but I love the book more, as is usual, but the film is very good as well, in case you haven't seen it. So, those are the first 4. The second is actually a batch of 3 books, and it is the Peter Grant series by Ben Aronovich. The first one is Rivers of London, second one is Moon Over Soho, and the third one is Whispers Underground. And look how pretty when they're on the shelf, they look like this. The fourth book which I think is called Broken Homes, has just been published, but I've read Rivers of London and I really liked it. It does suffer a bit from first bookitis, meaning that the story is really good, quite like his writing, but there's a few points of development, a few less than perfect ways of telling the story, which I'm really hoping and expecting Aravanovic to have made to improve on in the next book, which is Moon Over Soho. And even more, I adore these covers. Look how pretty. They're so gorgeous. I really love them. And so I'm very keen. There will be a review of Rivers of London very soon as well. And as soon as I read the other ones, I'll let you know how they are as well. So those were the sort of first ones I bought. Just as I was about to leave, I saw two things happen. First thing was, there's this big trough, almost, of books that were 20 kroners each. Now, that's about £2 or $4 or €3, depending on where you're from. Really cheap is the point. And I was lucky enough to find this, Voice of the Gods by Trudy Canavan, which is the third in the Age of 5 series. I actually have books 1 and 2, and I've had them for years, ever since I read her High Magician's trilogy, and just never got around to reading them. I think partially because I didn't have the third book. So now I have it, and it's even in the other two I have, or these lovely paperbacks. So I was really keen to get this at such a cheap price, and I'm hoping that maybe someday soon I'll be able to read them as well. But in the trough as well, there was another book, which was not this beautiful one. A Discovery of Witches by Deborah Harkness, which probably you've heard of unless you've been living under some sort of rock. And it's really gorgeous. I haven't read it. It's been on my list ever since it was published, and it sounds like just the sort of thing I would love, and yet I haven't gotten around to it. And I think that this cover is really gorgeous, prettier than the original one. The only problem is that on the back it says "Irresistible to Twilight fans," and that means that every time I've shown this to someone, says, "Oh, look, this great new book I bought," that's what they see. And sorry, Twilight fans, but that's just not a stamp of. You don't want to advertise that this book is like Twilight. And I mean, I'm sorry, I sound such a book snob now, don't I? I really actually like Twilight. The first book anyway. But it's just, this, from what I've been told, it actually has nothing to do with Twilight. There's a love story, sure, and there might be some vampires in there, but come on. Dracula isn't like Twilight just because it has a vampire. So, anyway, really keen to read this, and I really promise, I hope I will read it very soon. The last book I got was just as I had actually paid for all of these. I was out of my way, I was going through the door, and just next to the door was this. Last copy left. Beautiful hardbound copy of Sense and Sensibility by Jane Austen. And I just think it's so gorgeous with the flowers on the back as well. Look here. So pretty. And with a bookmark. Yeah, booknotes in case you hadn't guessed already. It's really gorgeous, and I don't have Sense and Sensibility, and I'm embarrassed to say that I haven't read it, but it's one of those books that I would really like to read. For now, for my book haul, I hope that you've had some inspiration and some fun seeing some of my new books as well. Quick disclaimer, I feel like I have to add that. Because I've presented a book in my book haul, unfortunately it doesn't necessarily mean that I'll be reading it anytime soon, although I want to, and it doesn't mean that there will be a review of it anytime soon. But it will be on my shelf, and hopefully one day you will see a review of that book. So, anyway, comments, please. Anything you have to say, put them in the comments below, please. If you have any recommendations of what I should buy next, as if I didn't already have plenty, let me know. And yeah, hope to see you for my next book haul video very soon. Bye.